You're sitting in seat 23A, and suddenly it feels like your ears are trying to escape. Your head is a little light, and you can't help wondering, is something wrong with the plane? Why am I not okay? Let's unpack what's really going on. First, understand that those weird sensations happen for a very good reason. Have you ever been up high in the mountains and felt a bit lightheaded? That's because as altitude increases, air pressure decreases. The same thing is happening to your ears, but inside an airplane cabin. But planes aren't just flying boxes with open skies. They have something called a pressurized cabin. Imagine you're sitting in a giant metal canister, sealed and pressurized like a soda bottle when shaken. This can keep the air pressure inside similar to what you'd find at sea level, around 15 pounds per square inch side. That's why you don't feel as lightheaded. And here's the surprising part. Those pressurization systems are incredibly robust. They can handle a whole range of altitudes and changes in cabin pressure. So you're safe. The small drops in cabin pressure, which might make your ears pop, are not dangerous at all. They just need a little bit of adjustment. So next time you feel a bit lightheaded or hear those ear-popping sounds, relax. It's part of the magic that keeps you comfortable and safe during your journey. You're sitting in seat 23A when you notice something strange. The plane just took off, and now the cabin feels like it's getting a bit stuffy. That's because, as we ascend through the clouds, the outside pressure is dropping rapidly, like opening a jar of pickles at high altitude. And here's the surprising part. The altitude outside is what really matters, not inside. The cabin isn't pressurized to keep the air thick and heavy like in a submarine. It's pressurized to mimic a much lower elevation, about 6,000 feet above sea level. This means that even though you're way up high, your ears feel like they're at the beach. Imagine being on a mountain hike. As you go higher, the air gets thinner and it feels harder to breathe. That's why when you fly, the cabin is pressurized to keep things similar to what you'd experience if you were 6,000 feet above sea level. This height corresponds roughly to the elevation of Denver, Colorado, a place known for its thin, brisk air. So, here's how it works. As the plane climbs to its cruising altitude, a series of valves and compressors work in harmony to maintain this pressure inside the cabin. It's like having a giant, invisible hand constantly adjusting the balloon size to match the outside conditions, keeping your ears happy and everything feeling just right. Now you can breathe easy, literally. That slight change in air pressure is perfectly normal and totally controllable by the plane's amazing engineering. You're not alone in this. Thousands of flights make these adjustments every day without a hitch. Imagine you're sitting in a big, stretchy balloon, just like the ones at parties. Now picture that balloon getting bigger and higher as the plane climbs into the sky. As it does, the outside air gets thinner, like when you squeeze an inflated balloon, making the air inside squish together. And here's the surprising part. Up in the thin airway up there, if we didn't do something special, your ears would feel like they're being squeezed, and your body might not get enough oxygen. But fear not. The plane is equipped with a magical pressurized cabin. As the outside air gets less dense, the cabin keeps the pressure inside nice and normal, like keeping the balloon inflated just right. So what's really happening? Well, as the plane climbs to its cruising altitude, it's carrying this giant, pressurized cabin with it. Inside the cabin, everything stays comfortable. Just like how you can breathe normally underwater in a submarine because the air inside is at normal pressure, you can breathe normally on a plane even though outside the cabin, the air is very thin. It's all thanks to those clever engineers who figured out that if they could maintain a steady internal pressure, about the same as sea level, it would keep everyone safe and comfortable. It's like having an invisible force field around the cabin, protecting you from the harsh conditions of high-altitude flight. So, you're sitting in seat 23A when suddenly your ears start to pop. You might wonder, why do we need all these complex systems just to keep the pressure inside the plane right? Well, let me tell you something amazing. There are not one, but two independent pressurization systems working together to make sure everyone on board stays safe and comfortable. And here's the surprising part. Each system is like having a backup plan. If one system fails, we're still good to go because the other can take over seamlessly. Think of it like having two smoke detectors in your house. Even if one stops working, you've got another one there to alert you to any danger. Now, imagine you're on an airplane and you start feeling a bit lightheaded as the cabin pressure drops slightly during descent. This is because the plane is designed to maintain a safe pressure level for its passengers. Even if something goes wrong with one of those pressurization systems, there's still plenty of oxygen available. Incredibly rare are the cases where both systems fail at the same time. In almost every situation, you already have enough oxygen in the cabin to safely descend and land. That's not just a comforting thought. It's a testament to how reliable modern aviation is designed to be. So remember, whether it's one system or two working together, you're always in good hands up there. And that's why flying is incredibly safe, because of all these backup plans and highly reliable systems. So, you're sitting comfortably in your seat, maybe reading a book or scrolling through social media on your phone. Suddenly, there's a noticeable drop in pressure. Your ears might pop, and for a moment, you can feel like the cabin is getting a bit lighter. You wonder, is something wrong? Well, what's actually happening here is pretty simple, and it's totally normal. Think of it this way. When the plane descends from cruising altitude to land, it's like opening a big jar too quickly. Imagine you have a jar filled with marbles, and you're holding it tightly closed. When you open it suddenly, all those marbles rush out at once, creating a bit of a rush of air. In fact, the plane has safety valves that control this process. These valves, let's call them pressure regulators, are like little windows on your jar. They open gradually to allow the pressure in the cabin to match the decreasing pressure outside. This way, you don't feel any sudden changes and everything stays nice and steady. Here's the surprising part. Even though it might feel like a quick change, it actually happens over just a few minutes. The plane is designed to maintain a comfortable environment for you throughout the entire descent. So, relax and enjoy the view out the window as the plane gently makes its way back down to Earth. Okay, so there you are in seat 23A, and suddenly your ears start to feel weird, like they're getting a little stuffy. And then, just when you think it can't get any worse, that big glass dome on the plane starts to look like you could almost touch it. You wonder if something's going wrong. But here's the thing. What every passenger gets wrong about flying is this. Those pressure changes and that feeling of your ears. They're completely normal, totally safe. And guess what? You're not alone in feeling this way. And now, next time you feel a bit lightheaded or notice the pressure changes, remember, it's completely normal and safe. Your ears are just doing their job, adjusting to the altitude change. And the plane's pressurization system is working as intended, making sure everyone on board stays nice and cozy. But hey, if you have more questions about flying, anything at all, we're here to help. Curious about how seat belts work? Or maybe you want to know what happens during a turbulence event. Whatever it is, we've got the lowdown in plain language, making sure every flight you take is as clear and reassuring as possible. So if you'll never look at a plane the same way, you know what to do. Subscribe. We're here to keep your curiosity satisfied and your flights worry-free. Safe travels.